guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and I join you from the Jurassic deck as we enjoy the final waning days of autumn. I thought this tree was kind of beautiful and a nice little breakup from the media room, the studio. So let's enjoy some fresh air as we talk about some new releases. This is essentially going to be I don't know, some of this goes back as far as October, but it's just arrived. And then we've got stuff that's current, like brand new stuff for now. We've also got some stuff that's January that I've been able to get a little bit early. We're going to kick it off with some Mill Creek Entertainment. We've got the new Ultraman Taro Steelbook and Standard, the mural packaging. I've also got 3 of the 4 new entries in the retro VHS slipcover Blu-ray line, but let's start with Ultraman. So this is Taro. There's really those hardcore. This is the 6th entry in the consecutive Showa releases of Ultraman. I think after this, as far as like classic old school Showa era Ultraman, I think we're really just looking at Leo, and I believe that's going to complete the mural, but we're talking about Taro here. And you guys know the drill. You get your choice. You can get the steelbook, or you can get the standard packaging. I call it standard. Your traditional packaging. We've got the booklet here. I haven't really had a chance to look through any of this stuff yet. It just came, so let's enjoy together. Look to the sky. Look to the stars. Look to the cosmos. Of course, as always, exceptional liner notes and materials from Sci-Fi Japan's Keith Aiken. First of all, a really great guy, but second of all, so incredibly knowledgeable. I had the pleasure of having I feel like we talked for upwards of like 2 hours, like a Zoom call with Keith Aiken. Just the best, man. So head over to Sci-Fi Japan. I do want to shout that out because you couldn't ask for a more knowledgeable, kind, and well-informed person to be in charge of passing on some of this, the keeper of the knowledge. You know what I mean? Like such a repository for Ultraman history, science fiction, Japanese science fiction, just across the board. Here's our episode guide. I always love that they do these character guides, these profiles of like the main characters. And then we get our episode, the details of the episodes. I'm not going to spend too much time because we got a lot of ground to cover, guys. But let's see. I want to make sure I get to the kaiju page. Here's the key kaiju. So here's the thing. I get asked this a lot. After Taro, after Leo, will Mill Creek continue to release Ultraman shows? Absolutely. My understanding is that they're committed to releasing everything Ultraman that they can get their that they have within the license that they can get licensed to release, and that's like a lot. I'm not going to say it's everything because that's not for me to say, but I think that it's I think if you're interested in Ultraman, you're going to be let's do. I always like to take these off the hub. We can get the idea. Don't make me, guys. Don't make me take the other. I don't want to drop them. That's what would happen is we're on the Jurassic deck. I would drop them. A bird would swoop in, carry away the Ultraman Blu-rays, and then become kaiju fans themselves. Like that bird is that bird wearing an Ultraman shirt? I think Mill Creek is committed to this, and look, over a dozen series in like a year, like 15 months, really, like over a dozen Ultraman series. So I think this is something we're going to be able to enjoy in the long haul. But as I always say, support with your dollars, support with your wallet, because what we finance, what we pay for is what finances the acquisitions of tomorrow, If you want more kaiju, if you want more tokusatsu television series, you got to support what's out there. So, the drill. This is going to be your standard. Every disc has its own tray and hub. Comes with a movie spree code. And I'm really excited about jumping into this and discovering this. Let's talk about these retro VHS releases, because you guys know I love these. Like, I'm a big fan of this line because it does capture the best of both worlds. You get the first of all, if you don't like these, if you hate VHS, which would be weird, if you're buying these movies and you hate VHS, well, where did you come from? That's interesting. But I hear from you guys, be like, I hate it. It captures the best of both worlds because this is true to the way a VHS would have looked like. And in some cases, this is the actual VHS cover. Like you look at The Freshman. This is how so many of us found this movie on the movie aisle. But if you hate these, you got this too. You got your alternate artwork underneath. It looks like, here, I'll just hold up. How's the lighting on the Jurassic deck? You guys can see, like it's a little in shadow, but there's the front, there's the back. Do I do the Brando? It's Ferris Bueller, it's Matthew Broderick, and it's Marlon Brando. We're gonna be in a movie called The Freshman. Oh, Sonny, my boy, what have I done to you, Sonny? Ferris, why couldn't they save you, Ferris? They tried. What? It's gonna go with like Rooney. As you guys start making references, we got to move on. Okay, so like father, like son, dude. I'm so excited about this. Dudley Moore, Kirk Cameron. This is a movie that I feel like a lot of us grew up with in the 80s. What year is this? 1987. But it's become kind of obscure, but no more, because now we have this on Blu-ray, and I'm just really excited that this exists with an HD transfer, that this was able to be picked up and put out as part of this retro VHS Viz, that's how you pronounce it, Viz line. Blind Fury. This was previous. So here's the thing. Blind Fury is one of those movies that was in like a multi-feature action pack for Mill Creek Entertainment, and one by one they've been putting those other movies on their own disc, which is of course a big deal because you get less compression, you get more room for the movie to breathe, you get a higher bit rate, it's just better. Anytime a movie, you don't want a ton of content on a disc, you want it to be able to breathe, right? So that it has the highest quality possible. So this is good news for fans of this Rutger Hauer ninja adjacent. That's what I'm going to say. It's a ninja adjacent movie. So here's our alternate artwork. It's very slick. I really like this artwork. It's been a while since I've seen Blind Fury. I know I watched it in the previous Mill Creek pack. Doesn't this have the kid from Step by Step, and he was Hobie in the first season of Baywatch. Deep cut, you guys. We're getting into like TV history here. I believe that's the kid in this movie. Okay, so that's Mill Creek Entertainment. They're also coming out with Crossroads, the Ralph Macchio, Robert Johnson movie, which I'm really excited to get my hands on, and we will be covering it, of course. I just don't have it here yet. The release date for these, by the way, is January 12th. Ultraman and the Mill Creek Retro VHS. That's January 12th. And you can pre-order them. I'll put pre-order links in the description of this video. Pre-orders lock in the lowest price, so there's no reason to wait. And of course, you're sending a message that yes, there's an audience for this stuff. But I have a special interest in the Robert Johnson thing because, I love music. And actually the highest viewed video here on the Serial at Midnight YouTube channel is about Robert Johnson's Crossroads. So that's a special topic for me. Let's move on to Paramount. We're going to talk about the 4K. Well, it's the disc release. We'll just say the disc release because we're getting a 4K, we're getting a Blu-ray. This is the 4K Blu-ray combo pack, and this comes from Paramount. This is Love and Monsters, and wow, this is a great movie. They put here on the front, they put certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Historically, that doesn't carry a lot of weight with me because I know people, some movies that are like super mass produced and super like commercial get really high audience scores and low critic scores. This, I went and checked. This is like fresh with critics, it's fresh with audiences, and you know what? It's fresh with Serial at Midnight because I love this movie. It is if you haven't seen Love and Monsters, because I know it's been on streaming for a while, right? But if you haven't seen it, it's kind of a mix between my elevator pitch, right? Here would be my elevator pitch. It's a mix between Zombieland and, oh, dude, what's the movie with A Quiet Place? It's, okay, A Quiet Place, Zombieland, and what else do we want to throw in there? It's got this Australian flavor, right? I think the filmmaker is Australian. So maybe Farscape? Do I want to throw Farscape in there? So it's a coming of age story set against the apocalypse. but it's got a lot of heart to it. Like heart, not in a way that feels schmaltzy or forced, but just like really natural, optimistic, go live your life and be happy kind of optimism. Like I like that. That's kind of a mission statement for Serial at Midnight. Is it's okay to say some negative things, but then you have to move on and go upward. And it's got it's got Michael Rooker in it. Oh, what I was going to say is it's this story, but it's set against these monsters. There's these wonderful monsters, these wonderful monster designs. So it's not a CGI heavy movie, but it does, when these monsters appear, it's like, whoa, they're cool. They're very cool, like insect and like frog bait. Like here's the frog monster, and here's the snail monster. I really like it. It's got such replay value for me. Dylan O'Brien from the Maze Runner movies and stuff. Michael Rooker is in this. He's not in it a ton. He's in it for maybe 15-20 minutes, but he really does kind of steal the show. You know what? Let's throw The Walking Dead in the mix as well, because it's kind of that thing as well. There's no zombies, but it does have that that survivor kind of a thing, you know, like we've got to survive this horrible circumstance. Anyway, this comes out in January. In fact, let me give you the specific dates. I've got my PR, my press release right here, so I can be very specific with you guys. It runs 108 minutes. It comes to 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and DVD on January 5th, 2021 from Paramount. It contains the following bonus features: deleted scenes, bottom of the food chain, the cast of Love and Monsters, and It's a Monster's World, creating a post-apocalyptic landscape. Also comes with a digital redemption code. That's the digital. Look, I would have loved to have seen and supported this in the theaters, but we all know what a crazy year 2020 was. I don't know that I'm going to do like a best of. I'll do a best of the year for home media releases. So I like to do like my favorite movies of the year too, but so few movies came out this year. But if I was going to do like a top 10 or maybe even a top 5, this movie would be on it. I was really impressed with this movie. So Serial at Midnight approved, guys. Again, I'll put a link to where you can pre-order it in the description of this video, or if you're seeing this in 2022, just where you can order it. From the good people at Imprint and Viavision Entertainment. I've been told that so it's an American thing, right? I would say via, V-I-A, right? Via, I would say via. I believe in Australia it's pronounced via. So I am going to, from this point forward, I mark it here. I will be calling it Viavision, and struggling to remember to do so probably for the duration of our coverage here. But this is the Essential Film Noir Collection. This is Imprint Films releases 18, 19, 20, and 21. This just arrived. I believe this was released in the October wave of Imprint titles, which we've already covered. This is, I believe, the wave that had the Hammer House of Horror. It had Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It had Day of the Locust. It had Danger Diabolic. Yes! Oh, I love that movie. And now we have the Essential Film Noir Collection 1, which implies a 2, maybe a 3. You guys know I love film noir. I love film noir. So you know what? I'll show you more of the packaging. Anyway, it just arrived. It just arrived. This is something that I just got my hands on. I'll hold this up and you can pause it. By the way, we're dealing with a new camera. It's better, right? Got some comments from you guys being like, hey, what's going on with your camera? Well, we got a new one. What do you think? All right. We're going to pop the top off here and check out the release. By the way, smells like a new guitar case. Are the people at Viavision guitar aficionados? Are they like, let's put this in a box? I would like to think so. Release number 18, framed Glenn Ford. Let me turn this around so you can, ooh, I almost dropped it. So you can see the bonus features and the specifications. You know what? They all have, we'll do this too. They all have the inner artwork as well. It's one of the things that I love about Imprint, as well as the year on the spine is so important for fans of film to be able to track the years for these things. This is hold on, I'm out of order now. I'm out of order. You're out of order. This whole trial is out of order. Who knows the movie? I hope some of you do. Alias Nick Beale, not Ally McBeal. Maybe this is Ally McBeal's grandpa, Nick Beale. Ray Milland, Audrey Totter. Where did that joke come from? I don't know. Thomas Mitchell, 1949. You guys hear the blower in the distance? It never fails. As soon as I come out here and fire up the camera, somebody's going to turn on a blower. I think they're waiting. They're like, all right, he just hit record. There's our special features. And let's look at the inside. I'm going to have to speed up, you guys. We got a lot of ground to cover here. But I want to do justice to these wonderful, wonderful releases. Because I think the world of this stuff. I don't blow smoke. You guys know that. Like, well, you know from videos like the Mandalorian video that I did, and from my comments on like It's a Wonderful Life. By the way, a full video on It's a Wonderful Life coming very soon. You know that I'm honest, right? I shoot from the hip. I really do get very excited about this stuff. Detective Story with Kirk Douglas. This is going to be a first-time discovery for me. I've never seen this movie before. It's 1951. Special features. I like that they've got Alan K. Rhodey involved in a lot of this stuff, and he's on the Film Noir Foundation. I think Eddie Muller is on the commentary for one of these. Am I right? You guys saw. Yeah, Eddie Muller's on the commentary for Alias Nick Beale. But is Eddie Muller on the commentary for any episodes of Ally McBeal? That's the question. What does Eddie Muller think about Ally McBeal? All right, we got one left. It's, you know what, from a film fan perspective, it's so great to see Noir having a moment. Like, I've been a fan of Noir for, I don't know, a long time, years, I guess, but it's building momentum, and it's kind of like the thing now behind like giallo and horror, like boutique horror stuff. Film noir really seems to be coming into its own as a genre that people are discovering and enjoying. I hope that westerns seem to be close behind, and as someone who loves these movies so much, that's so encouraging to see the Noir-vember. Yeah, why do we do Noir-vember, right? Like, well, it's trendy. It's like May the 4th. It's got a pun in the name. But if that brings people into the fandom, that's a wonderful thing, right? And so it's really exciting to see this happening, thanks to companies like Viavision with the Imprint label. This is The Garment Jungle. Again, never seen this, but I'm really excited about this. This is 1957, so this is late in the noir cycle, if you will. Noir pretty much ended by the late 50s by traditional definitions. By the way, here's the back of the box. Really from World War II, you know, the aftermath, the immediate aftermath of World War II until, oh, this is pushing it for 50s. Yeah, can't show the belly button though. That would just be too much. Until, you know, by the time the 50s really bring in, the late 50s bring in a whole other sort of a thing. But this is the Essential Film Noir Collection 1, and I got to tell you, I'm so excited. This gets me really jazzed and really pumped up for this is why we collect physical media, right? Because you get excellent, ooh, let me show you this. Warp. You get excellent transfers, excellent restorations, excellent special features. This entire Imprint line really feels done out of so much love and education. You know, it's not just like, well, I watched this movies. You get commentaries, you get some cool behind the scenes features that really help to educate. And I think that's important when you're dealing with classic movies, because there's not a lot of people talking about this stuff out there, right? Outside of us, outside of the enthusiasts. So this came, I think, you know, some you guys may know about this, but Popeye got a Blu-ray release. This just came out a matter of weeks ago as I'm recording this video. As I live and breathe, I never would have expected that Robert Altman's Popeye would get a Blu-ray release. This is a movie, you know, Robert Altman is the guy behind so many important, right, like artistic, important films. And the idea that Altman would do Popeye with Robin Williams is it's interesting. And I think for a while this movie was kind of considered, I think on release people didn't know what to do with it, and then it became kind of a cult classic, and then it went through a phase. I remember in the 90s and in the early 2000s it was kind of like a wow, what were they thinking kind of a thing, like one of history's great failures. Now, as is the case with everything, it's being rediscovered and people are like, well, that's a pretty cool movie. They made a Popeye movie? So, look, Robin Williams, Shelley Duvall, what is this, 1980? Yeah, 1980. A really, it's special. I mean, it really is. And now that Robin Williams is no longer with us, it feels even more, it just feels like, you know, it's a wonderful piece of his career, and I'm glad that it's preserved here on Blu-ray. Return to Sweet Haven, a look back with Robin and the Altmans, the Popeye Company Players, Popeye's Premiere, and the Sailor Man medleys. I mean, I don't know what else is to say about this, but the fact that this is Paramount again, the fact that Paramount is putting this stuff out implies that they're listening to the fan base, the whole Paramount Presents line. This is good. This is good for us, you know what I mean? Let's talk about some independent releases really quick. First, I want to talk about Life After Navigator. Now, this is the second time we're talking about Life After the Navigator here at Serial at Midnight. Hopefully, you saw our interview with the director, with the filmmaker, Lisa Downs, who talked to us about kind of the making of this. This is also the same production team, creative team behind Life After Flash, the Flash Gordon documentary about Sam J. Jones. And this is now the story of Joey Kramer, the child actor star behind as a flock of birds, not a flock of seagulls, but a flock of birds has moved in. The child actor behind the lead role of David in Flight of the Navigator. Hopefully everyone's seen Flight of the Navigator because it's a very cool 80s movie. But his life was complicated, right? And the years after his splash in this movie, oh, did you see the leaf just fall right across the camera? In the years following this movie, the Flight of the Navigator, he really went through some tough times. And this is kind of the redemption of Joey Kramer, but it's also about 50% the making of Flight of the Navigator. And I love Flight of the Navigator. Look, this is just stellar. So this has a Blu-ray release. This is from the Life After crew, the site. If you order this, you get this patch. This is the Life After Navigator crew. Is it showing up? There we go. The Life After Navigator crew patch. You get this, look at this booklet that comes with it. It looks like a VHS. And it's got tons of photos. They talked to the Randall Kleiser, who's very, as we learned from our interview, very important to the release of this film as well. There's our team, really. There's that's it. That's what it's all about. And it's I've spoken about the movie before, but there's something to be said. We live in how do I want to say this? We live in a world where everything gets a documentary, right? Oh, that has a documentary. There's a 60-minute documentary about this. It's common that documentaries about subjects are made and just are like, hey, remember so-and-so? That was pretty great, right? And then they show clips of so-and-so, and they're like, wow, I love so-and-so. And it's nostalgia. And that's a fun and good itch to scratch sometimes. But I so much value documentaries that have narrative in them as well, and they can show what really happened behind the scenes. They can show the ups and the downs. They can show the dirt and the failures as well as the success, because all of that goes into the mix, right? And this is one of those that really does that thing. It's not just a puff piece that's like, boy, nostalgia is great. It's also got a lot of substance and a lot of humanity and a lot of heart. And art is a reflection of our humanity, right? So we should be championing these things. So again, I'll put a link to where you can buy this in the description of this video. Let's talk about another independent production. This is Intersect. So one of the people responsible for this movie reached out to me, and he was like, would you like to get your hands on a copy of Intersect? And I was like, yeah, I was really interested. As I'm looking into this movie, I'm like, how to describe this to you? This is not showing up super well. It's an independent production that is, I hesitate to call it horror. Here, The Intersect is a Lovecraftian sci-fi thriller in which a group of young Miskatonic University scientists invent a time machine only to learn that they are being manipulated by mysterious, unseen forces. And that's it. So it's It's H.P. Lovecraft first and foremost, and it's also, so it's cosmic, it's time travel, it's science fiction, but it's also, what is that Lovecraftian, the madness, right? The like, what are these memories? Do these memories exist? What are, you know, questioning sanity, right? Like the nature of sanity, all that stuff. That's all in this movie. And the fact that this was done without any studio support or financing is really impressive. So if that sounds like your kind of a thing, and I know a lot of you guys that it probably does, this is something that is, it's just amazing even in its existence that they were able to make this movie independently with such lofty, just look at that with such lofty production value and themes and ideas behind it. You know, I mean, independent, that could break a lot of independent productions, but they did it, and I'm so happy for them. And they've got Blu-ray here. By the way, I should mention both this Blu-ray and the Life After the Navigator Blu-ray are on pressed Blu-rays, if that's something that's important to you. This is a pressed disc. But just look at what they've accomplished here with this. And it's got a lot of special features. It's got over an hour. Let me double check that. Over 60 minutes of featurettes chronicling the making of an indie sci-fi film from inception to post-production. Outtakes reel, trailer, audio commentary with the writer and director, the director of photography, the actor and producer Jason Spizak, and actor Abe Ruthless. This is the kind of stuff we love to champion, right? Because it's not just made by a company that's like, we'll just do this. It's made by people who have put everything into making these productions. They blood, sweat, and tears, you know? So, Intersect. Again, link to where you can pick this up in the description of this video. Let's talk about, what a switch here. Let's talk about Kenny Rogers. So, in the last few weeks to months, we've gotten a bevy of Kenny Rogers productions. So first came, have we talked about this? I know I talked about this on Patreon, but I don't, oh, my phone fell out of my pocket. I don't think we have talked about this in a main YouTube channel video. If we have, just bear with me. The Gambler Collection. This is a brand new release. It comes from Shout Factory, and it's a Walmart exclusive. This is all of the Gambler films. It's the complete 6-film collection because it also it's the 5 Gambler movies and Coward of the County. Now, previously, Shout Factory has released the first 2. I think it's the first 2 Gambler movies, possibly even the first 3. And it also included Coward of the County. But I think that was a 2-disc affair. So this is their latest... I don't want to call it a reissue. It's their latest product for this. It's the Gambler. So here's you get the Gambler and Coward of the County on a disc. You get the Gambler, The Adventure Continues. You get the Gambler Part 3, The Legend Continues. In Part 2, the Adventure Continued. In Part 3, The Legend Continued. The Gambler Returns, The Luck of the Draw, and Gambler 5, Playing for Keeps. This is a Walmart exclusive. I do not know if this will remain a Walmart exclusive, but as of this came out in October, but it didn't pop up for a while, and it's still kind of hard to find because it's the holidays, it's Walmart, it's difficult, right? So do go look for it. Here's the UPC. I don't know if that's going to help you guys at all if you're using maybe BrickSeek or something like that, but I think this was $17.88 or something like that, and for all of this Kenny Rogers majesty in one package. Don't be one of those people who's like, I'm going to wait for the Blu-ray. Man, there's no Blu-ray coming for the Gambler. These movies were shot on 4:3, standard definition. So if you want this, support Kenny Rogers. God bless him. Sad that he's gone. And then we also get, from Shout Factory, this is not a Walmart exclusive. This is the McShane films. There were 2 McShane, kind of another Gambler, but it's not a Western. It's kind of a modern, slick 90s, I don't know, maybe in the shadow of like a Walker Texas Ranger or something. I don't know, just kind of like modern country cool is maybe what I'd say. But it's McShane, Winner Takes All, and McShane, Final Roll of the Dice. These are 1994 movies, and these are 2 films on one DVD. And it's about 3 hours, so 3 hours on one DVD, that's no big deal. They can do that. without too much of a loss in quality. But I wanted to shout both of these out because I know that we have a lot of genre film fans here that would really like something like this, and they're not being publicized very well, in my opinion. They kind of flew under the radar, and I think that if more people knew about them, they'd be all about it. So let's talk about some Warner Archive releases. I've got two. Now, some of these have both been out for a little bit, but we haven't talked about them here yet. Two Hanna-Barbera classics from Warner Archive. By the way, I have been asked several times, and I do want to comment. How do I feel that the Warner Brothers shakeup, the Warner Brothers leadership, all the stuff about Warner Brothers wanting to push HBO Max over theaters, if that's going to affect Warner Archive? My official response to that is I am very, very, very concerned. And that's, I think, all that I can say about that. I will say maybe you, if you like Warner Archive, maybe you should be very concerned too. I don't know what we can do about this other than supporting the product, but times are changing. And I think that, you know what, I'm going to say this. This may be a future video topic. Let me know if you want elaboration on this. I think 2020 was the pinnacle for physical media. We'll probably talk about this again in the end of the year coverage, which is coming up just before New Year's. But I think that 2020 was the height, and I think that it was fueled by the pandemic stuff, everything that's been going on. I think that companies rushed to see, not necessarily rushed, but they pushed. Since they couldn't get new product into the theaters, they were like, what do we have that we can support on home media? That led to some of the most wonderful things we have ever seen on home media. And I can't imagine that 2020 is going to continue that. I think we're going to begin to see a leveling off and maybe even a downward trend. Some companies have risen and thrived in this marketplace, some of the companies we just talked about here. Other companies seem to have their eyes on a different goal, and physical media is not necessarily what it is. So I'm concerned. And I think we should all be concerned. Yeah, we get to watch movies at home, but there's a cost, and I'm afraid things like this might be the cost. But we will see. This is all in development. There's a whole lot of layoffs that have already happened. More layoffs are coming. If you saw our video about HBO Go, or HBO Max, I was pretty hot about it. I was pretty upset, and it's because I see windows closing, and I don't think that's good. I don't think it's good for things like this. Let's celebrate this. Space Ghost, the original Space Ghost and Dino Boy. Now, I'm of the generation that grew up with Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I loved that show, but I also, maybe more, that's an ironic postmodern take, right? I love the source material. So we have the wonderful Alex Toth designed Space Ghost characters, this hard science fiction superhero thing. It's all the Space Ghost cartoons on 2 Blu-rays. Love it. Love it. I need a Space Ghost t-shirt. Who knows where I can get a cool Space Ghost t-shirt? I know T Public has one, I think. Josie and the Pussycats, another Hanna-Barbera, very Scooby-Doo adjacent kind of a thing. But to see that this... Look, I bought this on DVD. I bought it again on DVD when they released the Diamond Collection version, and now I've bought it on Blu-ray. I imagine this is it, especially if my suspicions about Warner's future direction is true. But I'm really happy with to have the entire Josie and the Pussycats on Blu-ray. Now, if you're one of those people who are like, well, I want to see Josie and the Pussycats in space on Blu-ray, well, I hope you bought this, because if you didn't, you've sent no message to Warner Brothers that there's an audience for this, and they already don't seem to think that there's an audience for physical media. They think that the audience is for streaming. So, and I can't say that they're wrong, because streaming outnumbers the audience of physical media by a ton. So if you're one of those people, here's the takeaway from this. If you're one of those people that values physical media over streaming, but you're not buying things like this and you want more, you gotta buy. You gotta send the message. You gotta break out your wallet. That's what sends the message. So we're doing our part. We're talking about it here. Let's mobilize our passion and let's support stuff like this, because it's really special. I hope that 2021 has more gifts like this in the future. We'll find out together. Now let's talk about Beastmaster. I know this has been covered. Every content creator on YouTube bought this, I think, and has talked about this. But the fact, this is what I say when I say 2020 was a pinnacle, like Beastmaster, you guys. Beastmaster, not just on Blu-ray, but from Vinegar Syndrome in a package that is absolutely breathtaking. Breathtaking. So here we have, here's the disc, here's the booklet, and here's the art beneath the disc. Here's the art beneath the disc and the booklet. I mean, good Lord. So in the booklet alone, just more art, more essays and photo book. Look at all this stuff, man. Let's see. Concept art. I'm not going to show you too much because I do think you should pick this up. I want to send you to Vinegar Syndrome to buy this. Okay, so that's just the booklet. So here's the Blu-ray. This is the 4K Blu-ray combo pack. By the way, here's the back art as well. This is brand new for me. I haven't even taken it out of the shrink wrap yet. There is a replacement disc for this. The 4K is fine. It's one of the Blu-rays has there's some issue with it. I don't even remember what the issue is, but they're sending out a replacement program. Everybody that bought this is going to get the replacement sent to them. But I just had to, I know a lot of you guys have seen this. I know a lot of you guys have heard about it, but I had to shout it out, right? Beastmaster 4K, this gorgeous packaging. Hopefully everybody that wanted it got it, because it really is one of the best releases of the year. Let's end our coverage with a company that is near and dear to my heart. We're talking about Makeflix, J.R. Bookwalter's company, Makeflix. You know, there's the guys behind the Shot on Video 6-pack, the guys behind Robot Ninja, the Dead Next Door. They have started distributing Fred Olen Ray's retro media titles. Now, Fred Olen Ray is a big independent filmmaker, you know, genre filmmaker, big historian. Guy pops up on a lot of stuff. Like I'll be watching, you know, Mill Creek Entertainment put out a box set about like the history of horror, and it goes back to, I think it's like the late 90s. Christopher Lee is the narrator, and they cut to all these talking heads. Fred Olen Ray is one of the talking heads, talking about you know, such a repository, such a brain for genre filmmaking history, stuff like that. So his retro media line is now popping up on Makeflix. As you know, if you saw our interview with J.R. Bookwalter about that Shot on Video 6-pack, we learned that, you know, I should just hold this up. This will capture attention while I'm talking. We learned that Makeflix is intended to be kind of a hub for independent creators, independent filmmakers, genre filmmakers to sell their wares. So enter retro media and Fred Olen Ray. So the first wave, this is the entire, I'm missing one. I'm missing one title. But this is what I have to show you here. So there's there's Dinosaur Island. By the way, this is signed by the filmmakers. This also includes a retro media trading card with the stars of Dinosaur Island. So that's cool. Again, you know, a lot of Makeflix stuff is manufactured on demand, but these are pressed. Mr. Bookwalter assures us that there's no difference between a pressed and a burned disc as far as quality, longevity, etc. Lizard's Leg and Owlet's Wing. This is a Route 66 episode. The 1960 to 1964 the landmark series, right, where the two leads just traveled the country on Route 66. And I believe it was one of the first shows that actually shot in the towns that they were in. Like it was a mobile unit, you know, and they would bring authenticity. So this is an episode from that's been it's released by special arrangement with Shout Factory, because Shout Factory put out the Route 66 TV series. But this is an episode that's got Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr. and Peter Lorre in it, and I believe that, I'm pulling this off the top of my head, I believe that this is the last appearance of Lon Chaney Jr. in the Wolfman makeup. He's in the Mummy makeup, and it's the last appearance of Boris Karloff in the Frankenstein makeup, the famous Jack Pierce designed monster makeup. This disc has a ton of cool special features on it too. It's First of all, new 35mm transfer of the CBS Halloween special of Route 66. 2 episodes of Boris Karloff's 1958 series, The Veil, kind of a Twilight Zone kind of a thing. Monsters for Sale, a collection of classic TV commercials starring your favorite horror stars. There's one for Pontiac, it's like the Pontiac, the sports car, with Lon Chaney Jr., Mike Mazurki, Broderick Crawford is in it. Vincent Price shilling for Cousins. What is it? It's the light lunch special. So he's like, it's on a wonderful piece of bread with boiled greens and a tomato. It's wonderful to have these in one place. So, and there's also a. There's another feature on here as well. There's like a half-hour special as well. Tons of stuff here that's for the Monster Kid, right? It's like a cool archive for the Monster Kid. Evil Spawn. This is John Carradine, and by the way, there's something in here. Let's see. I forgot. Yeah. There's another trading card in here as well. Bobby Bressi. I'm not sure how to pronounce Miss Bobby's name. But I love these trading cards. I also got a autograph from Unlisted Owner. This autographed card for the movie Unlisted Owner. I just put it in here because I didn't want it rattling around. But again, Blu-ray. Oh, I should address the so Blu-ray. Do we have specification? New 2K HD transfer from the original camera negatives. This is 35mm restoration. Dinosaur Island is DVD only because what do they say exactly on here? Restored here from the surviving tape elements after the loss of the original camera negatives, Dinosaur Island is available for the first time in its officially licensed DVD release. So best available elements, right? And then the last thing that I have here is a Monogram double feature. I love Monogram, one of the Poverty Row studios. They were they made movies with Bela. I think they made 9 movies with Bela Lugosi. With Bela Lugosi. They made a ton of westerns. The Tarzan knockoff, Jungle Boy series. I mean, there's a ton of Monogram stuff. I have a book about Monogram, and it's just literally every Monogram production with the year, the cast, and that sort of like the running time. So I'm a fan of Monogram, and I love to see things like this. This is Bela Lugosi as the Ape Man, and it's Boris Karloff in the Mr. Wong, not politically correct at all, the Mr. Wong series of films, and these have been restored from, what's the specifications here? Do we have, I don't see, just off the top of my head, I don't see the it's 1080p. That's all that matters. And it's so hard. It's hard enough to find Monogram films that are like not cut or missing things from like 3rd generation TV broadcast versions, right? But then you get like the HD version from original source materials. That's wonderful. And it has the special features, the bloopers and outtakes reel of different Monogram productions. Fred Olen Ray, one of us, right? Maybe the best of us. He's one of those guys that has been flying the flag for retro entertainment, for genre entertainment for a long time, decades, along with J.R. Bookwalter. So to see these guys unite to bring, there's that blower again, to see them unite to bring stuff like this to disc and to the fans, I'm really happy with it. Keep your eyes peeled. There have been more retro media releases. There were Evil Tunes got brought back for a very limited run. But I think it's all sold out by the time I make this video, so I don't even know if I should mention it. But keep your eyes peeled to Makeflix, because I hear that there's more retro media titles coming, like, soon. So, and if you do head over there and check that stuff out, please let them know that Serial at Midnight sent you, so they know that we're out here representing. Guys, this is our new release. There's more stuff. This is the thing. There's more stuff coming. This isn't even complete. The mail is so backed up right now because of the Christmas holiday backlog. I believe I heard that it's 40% more mail than any other year in history. So it's the biggest mail year ever, and it's just slowing some stuff down. So we may come back at you before the end of the year with more new release stuff. But this is look, we talked for 45 minutes about this stuff. It's a lot of good stuff. So again, descriptions, links to where you can pick this stuff up in the description of this video. Thanks thanks to you, thanks to the studios for sending this stuff so that we could talk about it, and thanks to you for watching this video. I appreciate you so very much. We've got some holiday coverage coming up. This is not our final word before the holidays hit, but I do want to say that this holiday season, we're so appreciative of you. We're so thankful for you being part of our community. So until next time, I will catch you later.